one of the things that I do as a consultant, and most people don't know about this, is that I work with a lot of brands that are ready to scale their businesses. One of the things that I do for them is I help businesses already making money make more money. And in this video of retail fashion business, we're going to talk about distribution, license, franchising. Anyway, it's all about being able to scale your business to the top. Let's do this. Let's talk about distribution, license, and franchise. What are they? I'll give more information with regard to that. But picture this. Your brand has been going from being a not known brand to being known and to breaking it in already. And you think that's the end of it. Most brands or companies that go to me ask me, what's next? We're already making X amount of millions monthly with our brand, and we don't know what's next. And part of that is them getting stuck in that limbo we're in. What do we do next? I always think for them that you are ready to take the next step towards growing your business as a whole, like going globally, for example, is a huge step for any brand or any business. Let's explore the 4 most effective channels of business expansions to find out which one best suits your brand. Let's start off with distribution. What is a distributor? It works this way. A brand buys from a distributor. So this is a distributor, and the distributor sells to both a customer and a bulk order customer, for example, who probably is a reseller. But the distributor buys from the brand, which is you. Distributors buy products from you with a bulk discount, and they resell the product. And they resell the product to retailers and or to what we call the end consumer or end customers. Distributors handle every aspect of the selling process, including marketing, inventory, and also after-sales service. The distributors, they have the ownership of your products. They have ownership to sell your products. They have the rights to sell your product. They also have the rights to make decisions regarding how to sell and promote your products. Like when it's in their store, as long as you both agree and believe in how they sell it, if they want to put a mannequin and have the mannequin wear your clothes in a way that you're okay with it, that's fine. So they have that right to make that decision. They also have the right to sell products under their own trademark, which we discussed in one of the previous episodes of what trademark is in retail fashion business. Meaning you will not have involvement in sales decisions. That's another thing. Everything here is mostly part of the stipulations for you working as a brand with a distributor. And lastly, the distributors get to decide the product margins from it. Meaning they have no control over the final price of your products in the market. If you're pricing your product, let's say 800 pesos, if they want to sell it to their market at 1,200, it's their decision to make so that they make the right margins from themselves. So that's number 1. That's a distributor. Before we go on to the next, I want to explain what a distributing agency is. And there's a lot of distributing agencies at the same time. An agent can represent the product to the customer, and they also represent the brand as well. Distributing agents, they represent your brand within a market and help expand your sales channel. The agents, they present your brand to different distributors and receive commissions after distributors buy from you. So I work with a lot of sales agents that actually does that, who connect directly to retailers and wholesalers and what have you. Some agencies will also handle marketing and after sales service. They have no ownership of your product, so that's different, and they have no right to make decisions regarding how to sell your product because they're representing you. They're an agent, and they present products on your behalf, meaning you have the right to make decisions regarding selling terms, including product prices. So if you say to the agent that your price is 800 pesos for a shirt, they cannot sell it at more. They have no right to mark it up at 900 or even more. If you have questions, let me know in the comment section. Let's move on to licensing. But before we proceed to licensing, I want to explain that licensing is a commonly used method of brand collaborations as well as among fashion brands. Being able to license, for example, if you're a clothing brand and let's say you want to license a brand for a collaboration, let's say Coca-Cola. You want to put Coca-Cola and your brand together in a shirt. You can't just get logo and you slap it on your brand and say it's a collaboration. You'll get sued. You get a cease and desist order for that, which I experienced a lot of times before, earlier, which I didn't know. Okay, mind blown. Now, it can help expand your product range into new categories such as fragrances. For example, you're a clothing brand and you want to make sunglasses. Now you contact Ray-Ban, for example. Or you want to expand to fragrances. Now you contact a fragrance company that's already known in the industry. Thus, a new product is born. Collaboration. What are licensees? If your brand is this and you give permission to trademark with the licensee, now they can produce and sell directly to the customers that they have. And then in turn, the licensee will give them royalties to you as a brand. That's how it works. Licensees pay royalties to obtain rights to use your brand's intellectual property because you own the brand. That's your intellectual property, such as your brand name and your logo, and sometimes even your marketing. And using their expertise in the market, they can expand your manufacturing and sales channels as well. Remember when I told you that if you want to make glasses, sunglasses, you contact Ray-Ban because it makes sense because they've been doing that for a long time. So thus, you don't have to worry about manufacturing or their sales channels because they already have that. They might also handle production. They might also handle marketing, inventory, distribution of goods, and after-sales service. And they have ownership of your product mentioned in the contract, whatever product it is. It can be limited just, for example, your shirts. Or let's say you want to collaborate with North Face, so you only license for the jackets, for example, or outerwear. They have the right to sell products under your trademark. If your brand is with a trademark or registered trademark, and have the right to be involved in whatever sales decisions there is to be made with that collaboration. They also have the rights to create new products based on that. They can make, like for example, with shades, they can make 20 kinds of shades that you both can agree on that would you both think can sell. And they may decide how to sell the products and how to promote them depending on the contract terms. Would it be for 6 months to sell it in stores, a year, or maximum of 2 years? But I've rarely seen those kinds of collaborations because usually collaborations, they sell out fast. It doesn't make sense to have it longer than even 6 months because the hype of that will die out. Thus, you can do another one. And they also decide the margins of the products that you have. You may also have less control over the final pricing because they know the pricing more of the product depending on the contract. And also, they follow strict guidelines and agreements about business and marketing processes that you may have for your own brand as well. And lastly, you have the risk of getting into competition with your own brand as well, which is very possible but under the same trademark. Be careful who you're collaborating with. It might step into your own market as well. Have you ever seen, for example, like Mercedes do a collaboration with BMW? Nah, you get my point. Lastly, let's go on to franchisees. If you're a brand, you get royalties and you get also support to an open store with your trademark. This is how a franchise works. You give support to one that franchises your brand, and then you get royalty from that depending on how many percent. I've seen royalties as much as 90% from a company, and you get 10% of that. I want to name brand, but forget it. The open store with your trademark can sell products to their customers. So there. Franchisees, they pay a certain royalties and an initial joining fee to open a store under your trademark to expand your product sales to a wider network. And the point of sales, the manufacturing, sometimes even designing the product, and even the store. Franchisees handle the entire process and from the production to the full operation of a store. So if you have no experience of running an entire store, for example, handling 100 stores, if you let that be franchised, then a company who has experience in that can definitely help you expand your business. A franchisee has ownership of your products under your trademark. And next thing is they have the right to make decisions regarding how to sell your products under the guidance, of course, of your company. So they're basing it based on the guidance of your company still. They can't just, for example, your company's logo is red and blue. They can't all of a sudden change, your brandings to yellow and gray or yellow and green. They have to follow your standards. They also have the right to create products depending on the contract terms and agreements that you both have. Always check your contracts. The franchise can also sell products under your trademark, meaning you have the right to be involved in all sales decisions, if not most of them. And they follow a strict guideline agreements about your brand's product margins and the processes that you may have. They also have to receive training. It's important that they receive training on how to sell your products and how to project them publicly, especially your frontliners, which are your customer sales representatives, because if they don't know how to sell your products, then it's a bad way of representing your company. They have to know the know-how and other support and resources, and that all comes from you, the brand owner. And lastly, the franchises can also apply own local market knowledge. For example, your brand is based in the Philippines, but then now, let's say someone in Canada wants to franchise your brand and all you do is shirts. Now they can apply their knowledge in making, for example, thicker garments for their location as well. And their knowledge in the market helps a lot. It could lower the difficulties of entering, for example, a new market. For example, you're a tropical-based company and then you put your company in a winter-based company and you think that it would make sense to put your products in there, then you definitely could, but you have to study it first and make sure that it's something that's feasible for your brand to actually sell, because it's a bad look. For example, you're a tropical company and then you put it out there on a different weather type of country and it doesn't sell. That's a X for your brand. Those are the differences between a distribution, a license, and a franchise. If you're a brand and you're already making those and you're ready to further expand your business, think about those types of options that you may have. If you would like other options, like for example, your company being bought out or going into what we call a joint venture agreement with another company to build your business even further, or maybe just get royalties out of your brand that you already built that's already making money, let me know. Send me an email at info@antonioaguirrejr.com and I'll see you again in the next episode.